And with that, Tosaka leaves the room. Saber, take what Tosaka says with a grain of salt. She can say that because she's never been hit by you. I tell her just in case. For some reason, she seems pleased. Phrasing! She responds calmly. Mood! Based, Elia! I guess this means Elia is like me, in which her taste buds are sensitive. Chat, this is deja vu for me, what the fuck? Like, my taste buds, like I just said, my taste buds are sensitive to spices. Yes, but even if it's not particularly spicy, I can still, taste some, I can still taste some spices and seasonings very heavily. Why did you fucking touch my food? Ilia and Saber sit next to each other, bickering like two close sisters. It's just past noon. The three of us sit up and face each other, eating lunch together just like yesterday. Alright, it's not just lunch that's the same as yesterday. Our training today was as well. Today, though, it was even more awkward. Excuse me, I don't know how to explain it, but something in my chest stirs whenever I face Saber, and I find myself unable to rush at her with the same desperation I used to. That's the hormones. It's not just me. Saber has been acting weird too. It used to be that she never let an opening go by. The past couple of days, she just waited for me to make a move, which has meant the two of us just kind of ended up staring at each other for a while. Ia's criticism helped us get back into the swing of things. I managed to go after Saber, but it ended up pretty much the same. She batted aside my half-assed attack and didn't bother countering. Since she didn't follow up, I whirled on Saber, lunged again, and was once more repelled, though she again didn't counterattack. Our lackluster session ended about 10 minutes ago. Once again, it was Saber's suggestion we begin our lunch break. We're having the same thing we did yesterday, sandwiches. I figured it wouldn't do to make them exactly the same as yesterday, so I used a few more ingredients. Everyone seems happy. Ilia is excited over the colorful sandwiches, and Saber takes a deep breath, preparing for her meal. I think that's Saber's way of showing her enthusiasm. It's much rowdier than yesterday. It's raining and the hardwood floor is cold, but this also feels like a picnic.
もう少しおとなしく食べるべきでしょう。
分かってないのはセイバーの方よ。こういうお弁当はね、お行儀を気にする方が失礼なのよ。これはピクニックなんだから、こういう風にするのが本当なんだよね、シロ。
Ilya happily munches on a sandwich, and Saber reluctantly wipes Ilya's mouth with a napkin.
くすぐったいってば、セイバー。
Well, I didn't see this coming. Saber and Ilya seem to have warmed up to each other.
驚いた。拒否しないのですか、イリアスフィール。
なんで？私、優しくされるの好きだよ。他のやつが私に触れたら殺すけど、セイバーは綺麗だから許してあげる。
Guys, I think Ilya might be discovering something about herself.
それに、今は同じお弁当を食べる仲間だもの。セイバーが私のこと好きなら、私もセイバーのことは好きよ。
It's so simple for Ilya. Saber, clearly taken aback, stares at Ilya, dumbfounded. Even I, just a spectator, as this unfolds, am caught off guard by Ilya's smile.
何？セイバーは楽しくないの？
いえ、それは。
私は楽しいよ。外は雨で、ここはこんな殺風景な場所で、欲しかったものは何もない。けど、こうしていると嬉しいの。一人でいるより、ずっとあったかいでしょ。なのに、セイバーは楽しくないの
Something in Ilya's smile must have struck Saber. Saber sighs deeply and looks back at her.
そうですね。私もこうしているのはとても楽しい。
She sounds bright. And then Saber smiles in a way I've never seen from her. I don't know why, but I'm getting emotional. That smile was great. It was for herself and herself alone. It's not the usual smile I see from her whenever she's protecting someone. It's a smile of sheer happiness for her, from her.
シロ、どうしました？そんな顔して。何かいいことでもあったのですか？
No, nothing. Was I making a funny face?
してたわ。お父さんみたいな顔。遠くからこっちを見守ってますって風なの。私、そういう顔は嫌いよ。
Huh? Why? I understand what she's talking about, but I guess I was just smiling. I see. Well, something good had happened, so I guess I didn't realize I was smiling.
はあ、いいことですか？
Yep, I like the way you smiled just now, Saber. Seeing it made me happy.
難しいですね。そんなことが嬉しいのですか、シロは。
Yep, I guess I like seeing you smile like that, Saber. Saber nods, though she doesn't seem convinced. And then, I don't know what came over her, but she smiles and lifts her head.
そうですか。それでは逆ですね、シロ。
Huh? What do you mean the other way?
私はあなたが笑顔でいてくれた方が嬉しい。あなたが笑っていられるなら、私はそれで十分です。
I can't meet Saber's gaze. That smile would make anyone lightheaded. I managed to calm myself down and glance sidelong at Saber. She calmly resumes eating her picnic lunch. Nothing to worry about there. There should be nothing to worry about, yet something is bothering me.
あなたが笑顔でいてくれた方が嬉しい。
In that smile I saw for the first time, it seemed like she was contradicting herself. I listened to the rain in Tosaka's room. Today, under the pretense of a magecraft lesson, she performed yet another physical examination like yesterday. She gave me more medicine and then checked all my magic circuits. It's not that I mind doing this. I just don't like feeling that I'm not doing anything productive. She tells me not to move so I can see what happens. So she can see what happens to me, but that doesn't mean I can't talk. Tosaka, do you have a minute? I call out to her as I sit in my meditative pose.
いいけど、何よ。
It's about Saber. I really don't know how to explain it, but I realize I haven't thought this through at all. It's not even a question of what can I do for Saber. I haven't even thought about what I want to do for her. Well, I was just wondering what she wants to do. She never told us anything she wants to do for herself, so...
セイバーが何を考えているかわからない？
No, it's not that. I just don't know why she's so selfless. Yeah, I just don't know what to do about that.
まあそうよね。セイバーが自発的にやったことってあんたを守ることだけだもの。サーバントとしては当たり前だけど、あそこまで徹底しているとわからなくもなるわ。でも、だからといって無欲ってわけはないでしょ。セイバーだって自分の目的のためにあなたを守っているんだから。
Oh. I completely forgot her reason for even becoming a servant. You're right, Saber wants to get the Holy Grail, so it's not like she doesn't have any goals. And that Holy Grail will grant its possessor's wish. That means Saber, or at least, has a wish she wants granted. I don't know what it is, but she wants it enough to even become a servant. So it must have some hope of saving her. Like, for example, she's here in this time period, and the power of the Holy Grail can help her so she stays here and live a second life. And she would have to wish for something that big, just to make up for all the suffering and tragedy she endured. Oh, then it's actually pretty simple.
気持ち悪いわね。いきなり元気になっちゃって。今の話、そんなに面白かった？
Yeah, I am getting excited. And yeah, she wouldn't be fighting so hard as it was for something real big. After all, Saber needs to fight for her own wish. I nod to myself. Tosaka, on the other hand, seems utterly bewildered.
エミヤくん、喜んでるところ悪いけど、それはあなたの早とちりよ。セイバーは自分のためになんか戦わないわ。あなただって分かってるんじゃない？セイバーはそういうタイプじゃないわ。彼女が聖杯を求める理由は決して自分のためじゃないって。
What's your reasoning? I can't even ask that. I know. She met her final moments alone because she didn't have any desires for herself. So Saber wouldn't seek for her own salvation now. Wouldn't seek her own salvation now? But still, I hoped otherwise, even for a brief moment. And so I pushed my distorted desire on her. Our conversation trails off. Just as I think this awkward silence is going to continue forever.
つまんない話だけどね。あーちゃんもあんたと似たようなことを言ってたわ。
Huh? Archer? You mean your Archer?
そう。私もね、あいつに聞いたのよ。 あんたの望みは何なのかって。そしたらあいつなんて言ったと思う？
I wouldn't have the slightest idea. I never knew a single thing about him. Archer once declared that we were bound to be enemies anyway, so no, he made no effort to communicate with me or Saber. And yet, he may have been cynical, but he didn't seem the sort to have stupid objectives in mind.
これがね、聞いたら笑うわよ。望みは何よと聞いたら、あいつったらこう言ったの。
そうだな。恒久的な世界平和というのはどうだ？
もう呆れを通り越して爆笑したわけ。そしたらあいつやはり笑われたか。まあ他人の手による救いなど意味はない。今のは笑い話にしておこうなんて言っていじけちゃってさ。なんかね、ああいうやつだから英霊になんてなっちゃって、私みたいな小娘に刺激されちゃうんだなとか思ったわ。
I see. He didn't look it, but he was a great proud knight in his own right.
けどね、間違わないで。聖杯が本当に全ての願いを叶えるのなら、恒久的な世界平和なんて最悪の願いよ。
Yeah, as nice as it sounds, it wouldn't end up being great.
要するに、それって何もないってことでしょ？争いのない世界なんて死んでるだけよ。物事は動いてないと腐るだけなんだから。
Huh, did you tell Archer that too?
言ったわよ。そしたらあいつ、それが賢者の考えだ。私も同意見だが、今でもこれだけは愚者の夢を守っているのだ。だってさ。まあ、それはいいから、それじゃあ他の望みはあるのかって言ったら、あるにはあるが、聖杯で叶えるほどのものでもなし、私の分は君に譲ろうとかなんとか。キザでしょ？あいつ、きっと生前は女ったらしだったに違いないわ。
Or he's got the riz. Huh? I really didn't get... I didn't really get that impression from him. But what's your point here, Tosaka?
別にサーバントにもいろいろいるってことを話しただけ。
Is that so? Well, I guess it was good for me to know, so it was at least kind of helpful.
じゃあ次はこっちの番ね。まあ私もセイバーに関することなんだけど。
Huh? I do remember you saying you wanted to talk to me about something this morning.
ええ、大したことじゃないんだけど少し気になって。今更になるんだけど、エミヤ君はアーサー王の伝説を知ってる？
Legend of King Arthur. I've been reminded of it more than enough in the past few days. I know as much as the next person, although I didn't know King Arthur was a girl.
そうね。けど性別に関してはどうでもいいのよ。別にアーサー王が女の子だったとしても、伝説そのものに変更を加える必要はないでしょ。アーサー王が周りの人間を騙し通していれば、女性であっても男性として扱われるんだから。幸いアーサー王にはマーリンっていう魔術師がついてたしね。インキュバスとの根血だっていう悪魔じめたやつだから、アーサー王の性別を偽装したり、生まれないはずの子供を用意するってのもお手の物だったんでしょ。
Yeah, I bet. So, yeah, Merlin's quite the character.
だから私が問題にしているのは伝説と今のセイバーの食い違いよ。ねえエミヤ君、あなたはエクスカリバーがどういうものか知っていて？
Why ask this now? Excalibur is a symbol of King Arthur. It's a sword that It's the sword fairies gave to her, famed for being able to cut through anything without ever dulling.
やっぱりそんなことだろうと思ったわ。
Tosaka looked oddly triumphant. Huh? Was that a weird thing to say?
言ったわよ。あなたもアーサー王と同じ間違いをしたってこと。マーリンがいたら未熟者ってどやされてるわ。
Why's that? The sword in the stone wasn't Excalibur. The sword broke. He later received another sword from a fairy in the lake, and that was Excalibur, right?
そうそう。エクスカリバーをアーサー王が受け取った時にね、マーリンはこう問いかけるの。王よ、あなたがお気に召したのはどちらの方ですかな？剣か、それとも鞘ですか？アーサー王はためらいもなく剣の方だと答えるんだけど、マーリンは叱責するの。お間違えめさるな。剣は敵を撃つものですが、鞘はあなたを守るもの。その鞘を身につけている限り、あなたは血を流すこともなく、負傷することもない。真に大事とすべきは剣ではなく鞘なのです。
Tosaka skillfully acts out the parts of King Arthur and Merlin. So did she just hit herself on the head there? Look at you, Tosaka, you're getting into the part. So what's your point?
何ってここまで聞いてわからない？つまりアーサー王は不死者なの。エクスカリバーっていうのは攻守ともに無敵の宝具なのよ。だから本当ならセイバーは傷を負ってもすぐに治るはずだってこと。
Tosaka, Saber's wounds do heal.
それはそうだけど、セイバーの自己回復はセイバーのバカみたいに膨大な魔力を使った力技にしか見えないっていうか、ともかく伝説のエクスカリバーの鞘とは違う気がするのよ。
I see. If you say so, it's probably true. And here's my question. You say that King Arthur is immortal, so then, and why and how did King Arthur die? The legend ends with King Arthur's death, right? Tosaka's mouth drops open. After freezing up for a few seconds, she grinds her teeth and looks away.
そうだった。エクスカリバーの鞘は途中で敵に盗まれたんだ。
Ah, rookie mistake right there. I've forgotten, but according to the legend, King Arthur's fate was sealed the moment the king lost the all-important sheath. So, are you convinced now, Tosaka?
言ったわよ。笑い物にしたいならすればいいわ。
She doesn't mean that. I can tell she's ready to kick me in the head the moment I laugh at her. It's all good as long as you understand now, but why did that bother you so much? It shouldn't matter to you whether Saber gets hurt or not.
うるさいわね。何よ。ちょっとそうだったら無敵だななんて舞い上がっただけじゃない。私だってね、たまには間違えることぐらいあるわよ。
This is a tough one. Would there be any benefit in me pointing out that she makes mistakes a lot, not just sometimes? By the time the sun sets, the rain stopped completely. Based on our conversation during breakfast, we're heading to town to look for the other master. But I should check something beforehand. I should check Saber's intentions. What is her purpose in fighting? I shouldn't ask her straight out. I'll need to be casual about it. I hack myself up a bit and then push to my feet. The living room seems like a good starting place. I'm going to leverage a peaceful pre-dinner mood to try and get through Saber's stubborn nature. What if, hypothetically, what would we do if we won the Holy Grail War? So much for casual. I was going to point out that wasn't casual at all. I thought about it a lot and couldn't come up with anything smooth. So blunt it is.
Eh? Huh?
All three of them offer more or less the same response, though with slightly different expressions. Like I said, after we win, I want to talk about after we win. I want to talk about what we to do once we obtain the Holy Grail.
そんなの説明されなくてもわかるけど、どういう風の吹き回しよ。あんたがそんなこと言い出すなんて。
Saber and Elia don't nod, but they do seem to share an opinion on the subject. I guess this was kind of weird to bring up out of nowhere. You think? But I have to play dumb for now. Yeah, well, I'm just asking. There are only 3 servants left, so no, it's not such an unrealistic thought. So, the end is kind of in sight.
まあ言われてみればそうよね。いくら素人だってこの状況ならそれぐらいは考えるか。好きで始めたことじゃないって言っても命を張ってる以上は報酬ぐらい気になるだろうし。
Yeah, I would think that. I'm glad Tosaka likes to focus on the reason for things. Tosaka will allow for the possibility of anything that seems logical, which is really one of her better qualities. This is just something I brought up to discuss, though. So what about you, Tosaka? What would you do if you got the Holy Grail? I try to be as natural as possible with this.
そうね。私は勝つことしか考えてなかったから、聖杯に叶えてもらうような目的はないわ。
I'm going to take a quick bio break. Give me a sec. I'm back. So she's fighting because she doesn't want to lose. I figured that was the case, but didn't know for sure until she said it herself.
切れた。一番ものを考えていそうで、実は一番考えてないのよね、リンは。
言うじゃない。じゃあそういうあんたはどうなのよ、イリアスフィール。
そんなの知らない。聖杯は私のだから、誰にも渡すなって言われただけよ。もともと私のものなんだから、そんなものに興味あるわけないじゃない。
要するに聖杯より聖杯戦争の方が楽しいってこと？
当然よ。私は勝つためだけに来たんだもの。聖杯の使い道なんてどうでもいいわ。
Yeah. There are 2 peas in a pod. The 2 stare at each other in silence. They seem to be coming to some sort of understanding. Saber doesn't say anything. She probably doesn't intend to join the conversation. No matter how much she resists, I still have to ask. I have a good idea of your goals. I try to turn as naturally as possible. So what about you, Saber? She's been quiet this whole time. Saber doesn't reply. Saying that something's amiss, Tosaka and Elia stop and turn towards Saber. The silence stretches out for maybe a minute.
今さら語るまでもありませんが、聖杯を手に入れるのは私の義務です。聖杯がどれほどの許容範囲を持っているかは知らない。ですがそれが聖杯である限り、 私は聖杯を手に入れなくてはなりません。そして無論聖杯が私の望みを叶えられるなら望みを叶えるだけですが。
There it is. Saber just said she has a wish of her own. I see. So what is your wish? I try to calm my racing heart and keep composed as I ask. Saber doesn't answer. Fine, that's fine. If she can't answer, chances are good that it's because her wish is a selfish one. Knowing Saber, she may hesitate to reveal her wish to anyone if she's wishing for something selfish. And I think I'd rather keep quiet than make something up. I can feel myself trying to back away from the question I raised.
何？それってそんなに難しいこと？サーバントの望みは現世に蘇ることだっておじいさまは言ってたわ。英霊たちは2度目の生を得るために聖杯を求めるんだって。セイバーだってそうじゃないの？
Saber jerks her head up. If that's what she wanted, there would be no problem, which means...
いいえ、2度目の生に関心はありません。私の目的は聖杯を手に入れることのみです。もともとこの身は聖杯を手に入れる代償としてサーバントになったのですから。
I figured that much. Someone who took an oath and drew the sacred sword wouldn't seek a second life.
ちょっと待って、聖杯を手に入れることと引き換えにサーバントになった？それって英霊になる時の契約のこと？はい、この身をサーバントとする交換条件として私は聖杯を求めたのです。え？じゃあ何？あなたって聖杯を手に入れるために呼び出されたサーバントじゃなくて、聖杯を手に入れるために自分からサーバントになったっていうの？Tosaka
stares at Saber. She tilts her head, confused.
つまり、セイバーは英霊だから呼び出されたんじゃなくて、自分からこの戦いに参加したってこと？けど、サーバントである以上、英霊として祀られているんだから、自分からこっちの世界に関わるなんてできっこないわよね。じゃあ、セイバーはサーバントのルールから大きく外れてるってわけでもないし。もうちょっと待ってね、今整理するから。いいえ、整理するまでもありません。リンが言ったことは正しい。私は他のサーバントとは違います。私はまだ完全にサーバントになったわけではないのですから。完全にサーバントになっていない？
What does that mean? Well, first of all, what does it mean to become a servant? Saber just said she agreed to become a servant at the price she had to pay to obtain the Holy Grail. Which means... Hold on a minute. Are servants forced to fight it as a price to get what they want?
いいえ、それは違います。もともとサーバントというのは、この聖杯戦争だけの特別な使い魔です。サーバントとは、英霊の特性を利用した召喚魔術。元は英霊なのですから、サーバントにパンを得た代わりに労働をするという決まりはありません。そうね、サーバントシステムってのはもともと守護精霊である英霊を利用したものだもの。元からあるものを使ってるわけだから、サーバント側にもマスター側にも代償として支払うものはない。けどサーバントになる前、人間から英霊になるには代償行為が必要だって聞いたことがある。英霊っていうのは人間の守護者でしょ？彼らは死した後も人間のために働いて、人の世の滅亡を水面下で防ぐのだとか。 で、そういった守護者になるには生前まだ英雄として現役だった頃に何かと取引をしなくてはならない。それが英霊の契約、世界に死後の自分を明け渡す儀式。交換条件によって財を得た者が英雄となり、英雄としてやりたいことをやった後、死後はサーバントとしてもらった財を返す。つまり英雄になるために借金をして、死んだ後は英霊になることで借金を返すってこと。サーバントっていうのはその返済金額を横から私たちにかすめ取られて使役されてるってわけ。
So you're saying humans become heroes by making some sort of trade, and in return, they get used and summoned as heroic spirit familiars after their death. Which means the deal Saber made to become a heroic spirit was for the Holy Grail. Since Saber obtained the Holy Grail in her life, the price she has to pay is serving as a heroic spirit, a sort of guardian, and even after death. That doesn't sound right. Saber said her goal was the Holy Grail, but she already obtained it, and she became a hero in exchange for the Holy Grail.
いいえ、シロ。私はまだ聖杯を手にしてはいないのです。アルトリア、アーサー王の望みは生きているうちに聖杯を手に入れることだった。
Yeah, Arthur never did obtain the Holy Grail.
私は死ぬ前に聖杯を手に入れなければならなかった。そのためにもし聖杯が手に入るなら死後は守護者になっても良いと条件を飲んだのです。リンの言う通り、人間は英雄になるために世界と契約をし、人間以上の力を授かり、その代償として死後の自分を売り渡します。ですが私は英雄になるときに世界の後ろ盾を必要としなかった。幸いなことにアーサー王は英雄になるための支援を必要としなかったのです。
She didn't need any help to become a hero, so Saber became a hero on her own.
けどあなたは英霊としてここにいる。アーサー王は英雄になった後で世界に違う交換条件を求めたってこと？はい。私は最後の時にどうしても聖杯が必要になった。聖杯がなければ我慢できなかった。叶えなくてはいけない願いができてしまった。だから英霊の契約をしたのです。私の手に聖杯が握られるなら死後は英霊となってあらゆる者のために剣を取ろうと。
In her last moments, she wished for the Holy Grail's miracle. Now I understand her feelings. The blood-soaked hill, the sword standing against gravestones, the bodies of so many knights. A lone king whose reign ended in betrayal. She didn't deserve the end she met. Even if she hadn't had a wish of her own before, she must have thought, I can't die here. This isn't the end I want. And that's why there is no shame in using the power of the Holy Grail to prolong her life.
そう。つまり死後の自分を売り払ってまで聖杯を手に入れられる手段を取ったのね。けどセイバー、あなたの出した条件っていうのは生きているうちに聖杯を手に入れるでしょ？なら、はい。私が生きているうちに聖杯探索は成し得なかった。私はアーサー王は最後まで聖杯を手に入れることができなかったのです。ですがそれでは契約が成り立ちません。 世界が私をサーバントにするにはアーサー王が生きているうちに聖杯を与えねばならない。ですからアーサー王は聖杯を手に入れるまで死なない。いいえ、死ぬことができない。それじゃああなた、はい、アーサー王と呼ばれていた私は死を迎える一瞬で止まっているはずです。
In other words, she's still alive.
時間軸から見れば私はとうに滅びているでしょう。ですがそれでは契約が果たせない。アーサー王は死の直前でサーバントとして召喚され聖杯を手に入れた後死ななければならないのです。時間が止まっているんじゃなくて時間に止まってる状態か。あなたがサーバントとして何度戦いを繰り返しても構わない。最終的には聖杯を手に入れて契約を果たすことは決まっているんだから、そうです。いつかは聖杯を手に入れ私は契約を果たす。だからこそ英霊になる前からいずれ英霊化が決定しているという条件であらゆる時代に召喚される。それはこの町の聖杯だけではありません。聖杯が手に入る可能性があるならば私はどの戦場にも召喚される。そうしていつかは聖杯を手に入れ私の望みを叶えた時こそ死の直前で止まっていた私の時間は進みます。アーサー王は最後の時を迎え聖杯を手に入れた代償としてこうして英霊となるのでしょう。死の直前で覚めない夢を見ているようなものか。今回の聖杯戦争もセイバーにとっては夢の一つ。そして夢から覚めるのは聖杯を手に入れた時だけ。リンはシローが未熟だから私を霊体化できないと言いましたね。けれどそれは違う。私は未だ死者ではないから霊体にはなれないのです。半端な扱いですがこれでも位置づけは聖者ですから。前回の聖杯戦争でも私はそうだった。
Saber's tone is apologetic. She probably feels bad for laying the blame for her not being able to enter spirit form on my ineptitude. I don't care about that, but there's something I need to ask. Saber, what do you mean you're not dead? I got that you won't die until you obtain the Holy Grail, and based on how you described it, you haven't been alive since the time of King Arthur. But then, who are you right now? You're not a clone of the real person or anything, right?
はい。こちらに呼び出される英霊というのは全て本体の分身のようなものですが、私はまだその位置に達していません。聖杯を手に入れるまでは死の直前に止まったままで呼び出されている。リンの言った通り、アーサー王は時間という大河の上で停止している。私はその位置から前か後ろかに飛んで聖杯を求めた後、止まっている場所に戻っているのでしょう。
I tried to diagram it all in my head. It's pretty simple once I visualize it. King Arthur is stopped at the moment before she dies. But it doesn't matter to the wider flow of time. It continues on all the way to the present. She jumps to whatever time she's needed, then returns to her own frozen moment in time after she completes her duty. If she manages to obtain the Holy Grail in one of the times she visits, she'll be swept back to the proper flow and die, just as she does in the history we know. Perhaps that's how heroic spirits work. When they die, they're transferred back into a sort of nexus where the flow of time stops. And then when they're summoned, they are taken to that point in time when they disappear without ever returning. That's probably what is meant by heroic spirit as being doubles. Kind of like a clone made from their original cells. The heroic spirit, which completely retains the abilities and memories they had while alive, appears in this world and gains more knowledge, but it's all useless. They have no means to return to their original body and instead just disappear. And so, no matter how many times or in how many different eras they're summoned, there will never be any inconsistencies in the heroic spirit's memories. From the moment the person becomes a heroic spirit, they will never change. Even if they obtain new knowledge, they will just disappear once their role is over. So in that sense, Saber is not a complete servant. After each time she's summoned, she eventually returns to her own time. She goes back to that moment and she's about to die on that blood-soaked hill.
ちょっと待った。じゃあ何？今回聖杯を手に入れたら元の時代に戻ってその時代で聖杯を使うってこと？それって過去の改ざんじゃない。時間旅行にしても平行世界の運営にしてもそれは魔法の領域よ。そんなのできるわけがないわ。それを可能とするのが聖杯でしょう。そうして聖杯さえ使えるのならば私はサーバントとなってもいいと契約したのです。聖杯を使うことでアルトリアという人物が消え去ろうとも今の私が英霊となることを代償として。
Saber is so matter-of-fact about it. It doesn't sound right, though. Using the Holy Grail to grant a wish is fine, but why would that mean Ultria has to disappear? What the hell? Ultria is going to disappear by using the Holy Grail? That's messed up. Saber, you're not going to... I see the image of the girl dying on that hill all alone. You're not going to use the Holy Grail to save yourself?
なぜそのようなことを言うのです、シロ。私の望みは国を滅びから救うことだけなのですが。
I can feel my expression tensing up. I thought I knew Saber's wish, but now my head is spinning, and I feel like throwing up. Why? And yet, I try to push air from my lungs and get that one word out.
なぜも何もないでしょう。私は国を守れなかった。国を守るために王となったのに、その責務を果たせなかった。その時に思ったのです。岩の剣は間違えて私を選んでしまったのではないかと。
That's ridiculous. Why would she think that?
いえ、その迷いは常に私の中にありました。私は王にふさわしくないのではないか。本当に選ばれるべき英雄は他にいたのではないのかと。あの時、政権を抜いてしまった時、国を救えなかった私より国を救えたはずのふさわしい王がいたはずです。だからもし聖杯の力で王の選定をやり直すことができるなら、その時に戻ればきっと。
Is she saying that her nation wouldn't be destroyed if she was able to go back to that moment? I feel faint. I'm really angry at Saber for wishing for such a thing. That feeling passes in an instant, though. I almost said Angie. Saby Angie. I probably look like a deer in headlights. Isn't it obvious? Saber's wish is not for herself. On top of that, she wishes for her own elimination. She exists because she became king by drawing the sacred sword. To pretend that never happened means she simply wouldn't exist.